Okay, so now we're going to add some more texture to this area out here to make it a little bit more uh, less polished. Okay. Now, here's the thing. You could use layers for this. You know, maybe I'll start a layer if I like it, I'm going to keep it. If I don't like using it, I'm going to take it away. It's just one of those things that, you know, it's a new feature as far as I use it, but I don't use it all the time. Okay, I'm going to do this at a lower level here. This is the layer brush, and what I can do is push back a form, just like that. And then I can use the smooth to smooth it out. And lightly smooth this one. And then I can use the polish brush to kind of blend those two forms together. And then hold shift to really get in here and sculpt that out. So again, don't forget there is like a natural area in here of a hole, and I'm not going to do that with you as far as a beginning lesson for topology. That was a tough call. So I really do want a good sculpt for your portfolio, but I don't want you to go insane either. So this time I'm going to subtract this back using the lazy mouse standard. And I'm just going to kind of push this in a little bit. Not really much concerned with, you know, the whole blending part, because I know that H brush is just so amazing. So I can just kind of push this back a little bit using the standard brush and get a really nice depth there. Okay, and then just go back with the H brush and polish it right out. And if it starts getting insane, you smooth it and then polish it out. Okay, then I'm going to switch over to the flatten brush. This used to be my old fallback brush as far as getting some kind of stable surface in this area and still make it look like it blends well. I mean, H polish is great and all, but sometimes you gotta fall back on the old faithfuls. And you can see just by flattening it, man, it adds just so much more texture to it. See how much more texture I got in that area where it's not so perfect? So let me look at my reference real quick without anything on there. Alright, so in this area it has a large change. In this area it has like a little dip, and here I still got a little bit to work on as far as blending this form into the teeth. So okay, standard brush. Again, I'm just making this so it's a little bit less perfect right there, and then I'm going to flatten it out a little bit, adding some detail. There we go. And that's going to be my MO for the entire thing. You know, I'm just going to be using the standard brush to kind of puff up an area and then flattening it out. Again, and then checking my reference every once in a while to see if I'm on the right track. So in this case, these puff up and then they get pinched. Okay, and I could use my alpha for this if I wanted to. In fact, you know, just so I don't ruin the teeth. Oh yeah. Then take this alpha off. I'm sure once I get these into place, I can adjust the teeth a little bit more. And I'm just pushing back these because there's no gums on a skull. So these are just kind of need to be pushed back some, I think. Giving the illusion that these are just, they don't have an in-between. Again, I'm going to draw these up a little bit. This is where you start getting a little bit of style in your work too. You know, you can make these very, very prominent, and then these become a really evil looking thing. Just playing with that nose. At this point, I'm just hopping around a lot. And what it is you get bored just telling you guys exactly what to sculpt, what not to sculpt. This is the art phase. This is the phase that you get to have fun at and not be so structured. Once you get that form phase out of the way, that form phase that I did with getting everything, you know, so organized, so perfect, so whatever, is one of those things. It is boring, and now that you have a good surface to sculpt on, you're gonna find that sculpting is just so much more fun. It's like a coloring book. I mean, if you look for a coloring book that has super thin lines in it, it's fun to color in that. There we go. Does that look? Yeah. Okay, so now I'm just going to go in here, just kind of play around with this. And the flatten brush. And the standard brush. Oops. And I'm just going to really kind of pop this jaw in. I feel that it was a weak jaw. And it really needs to be out there. And then it needs to be flattened some. Okay, I'm going to do that for all the forms. I'm just going to go into the standard brush, bump out this form a little bit. Give it some edge. Maybe come back with it this way. And I see there's different flattens now. That's always good to know. All I know is flatten B did not do a good job. So and I can flatten the inside of this form. And what that'll do, it'll define it a little bit more. And this is where, again, style comes in. You can certainly play around with the eyes a little bit to make them more ominous or less ominous. You know, if I do this and then raise these up a little bit, you know, they look a little scarier. So but once you get all this detail in, you can do that all day long, I promise. You know what I mean? You can move all this stuff and it'll all move correctly. All right, so there we go. Let's move on to the next video.